A number of you have been asking for a grading feature that was in Blackboard. You want to be able to grade a student assignment in line and post the comments actually in line where the comments need to be seen by the student. Unfortunately, there's no way to do that directly in Brightspace. The best that you can do is download the document, make your comments by marking up the document, and then re-uploading it. However, Brightspace has a third-party application called Turnitin, which is essentially an originality checker, also known as a plagiarism checker, but it has the capability to allow you to create and mark up a document that a student submits directly in the document itself without having to download it. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do in the next few videos. In this video, what we're going to do is set up the assessment so that it can be graded inside of Turnitin. You go into your class and you create the assessment the way you would create any other assessment. So here is an example of an assessment that I've created. I'll call it an assignment. And it'll be the term paper. This is just a normal assignment that I've created in the assessment tool in Brightspace. I'll click the down chevron and I will edit the submission folder. You will see a choice called Turnitin. Click it. You will now enable Turnitin in this folder. You can, if you want, allow the learners to see the similarity scores. These are the plagiarism scores by checking this box if you want. You can automatically submit all submissions into Turnitin, or you can specify which ones go into Turnitin. We'll just leave it like this. And then actually this is a very important piece that is often overlooked, and that is the grade mark. When are the submissions that you have evaluated and written comments on, when are the students going to be able to see your comments? You can specify that by date and time. If they go in to try and look at their paper, they won't see your comments until this date and time has been reached. Now you have two choices. You may want to make the comments available immediately upon grading them so that the student can see them instantly after you grade them. Or you may want to wait until you've graded everybody's and commented on everybody's assignment and then make it available to the students. If you want to make it available now, just click on Now and it will set the date and time for the current date and time, and as soon as you grade one of their papers and write comments on it, they will be able to see it. If you want to defer it, set this date off into the future, well enough off into the future that you will have graded and commented on all the assignments. And then once you've done all of that, and they're ready to view the assignments and review your responses, when you hit this date, they'll be able to see it. If you do this and finish it before this date, you can always come back in here and click Now, and then it will make it available at that particular time. Then click Save and Close. You will now see that there is the Turnitin icon here. This means that any assignment that's submitted into this submission folder will be routed through Turnitin. In the next video, we're going to assume the student has already submitted, and I'm going to show you how to put your comments in line in Turnitin. In this video, we're going to actually go into the actual assignment itself and write the inline comments. So we'll assume that a student has already submitted a document. They submit it like they submit any other assignment in Brightspace. To them, they see no difference at all. You go in here and you will see that there is one file that's been submitted. It is in a Turnitin submission folder. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to click the down chevron and view submissions. And we see, here is the document itself. We see this right here in a column called Turnitin Similarity. we're actually going to submit this file now for originality checking. I'll click on this, and it's in progress. This actually could take a considerable amount of time. So you're going to have to wait until this is done before you continue with anything else. You may want to go through and submit them all at once, and then come back and write individual comments on the papers. So we'll take a break now, and then we'll come back when it's done. Okay, after a few minutes, we have refreshed the screen, and we now see this box right here indicating that there is no plagiarism associated with this particular document. So now what I'm going to do is click on this box right here, and it's going to go into Turnitin. So it's put my document here. It's created some menu choices over here. If I go and click on this tab, I can see all the pages that are currently in my document. The Turnitin pieces here are actually in layers. This layer here refers to the comments that you will be putting in. This layer here refers to the originality. And this layer here actually allows the system to check for spelling errors, grammar errors, typos, and things like that. Grammar errors and grammatical errors and typos and spelling errors are displayed to the student immediately. That's not held until the date, the grade mark date. So they will see that immediately. They won't see your comments immediately. So the first thing we need to do is we need to start creating some comments. There are three types of comments that we can actually create. One will be a quick mark. If you click on this, it turns out that there are some canned comments that Turnitin has built into the system. You can actually add to the list yourself, so that if there are comments that are going to be used over and over again in papers as you grade them, you can create them as a quick mark. The feedback summary will be displayed here, and you can actually also create a rubric. Now, let's go in and make a custom comment. So the first thing we need to do is see where we want to make the comment. So maybe we like this particular sentence right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to highlight over that sentence. And it's going to bring this up. I can strike out, and it'll strike that out like that. Or I can select one of the quick mark comments. Those are one of the canned comments. Or I can create a customized one. Let's create a customized one. We'll click this bubble right here. It now converted that highlight to yellow, and I can now add my comment. If it's going to be a comment that I'm going to use quite frequently, I can convert it to a quick mark here. Maybe I don't want this highlighted in yellow. I have a choice of 5 colors. Maybe I'd like it highlighted in green, so I can change the color. It may be that certain comments have certain colors associated with them. So positive comments could be green, and negative comments could be yellow or magenta or pink. And I'm now ready to, I've written my comment here. I'm now ready to close out of this. And I've created my comment, and I've got the bubble here. Now, one thing I don't like is I think this bubble is too low. It puts it at the lower corner here, but the arrow is pointing down here. So I like to pick it up and move it here. But that's your option. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. it will now save this comment here. And if I want to see this comment again, I can just click on it, the bubble, and it will actually bring up the comment. If I want to delete it, I can go in here and trash it. If I want to convert it to a quick mark at some future time, I can go in here and click Convert to Quick Mark, and it will automatically add it to that list of quick comments. If I wanted to add a second one, I can add it anywhere in here. So let's say I want to highlight this. And maybe I want to say something like, no paragraph should be a single sentence. Click out of it. I might pick that bubble up and post it right there. I've now created my inline comments. Now, what if I want to create a general comment about the paper that I want the student to be able to see? Well, I can create that in the document itself in any white space. If I just click here and click text, you can type in anything you want there. As long as you have available white space, you can actually fill it in. So you can put your comments on the paper right in the paper itself. Click out of it. And if you want to add more comments, you can. If you want to come back and add comments later, you can. The next time you bring up this document, all of these comments will in fact be displayed. If I click up here, I will see my 3 layer choices: grading, similarity score, and E-rater. E-rater is the grammar and spell checker. If I click on that and then close that, any spelling errors that it finds or any grammatical errors, it will then highlight in this purple color right here. So you can see here on this paper is missing a comma. Here there's some question about the spelling, more questions about spelling, etc. These will be instantly displayed to the student. So if the student were to log in and take a look at it, they would see these right now. What they would not see, depending upon when I set the grade mark availability, is the highlighting I've created here and the comments, the customized comments that I've created. You can also assign a numeric grade directly here in Turnitin and make that available to the gradebook. The way you do that is click up here and put in the grade. Then click anywhere outside of it. And that has now assigned a grade of 95 to that. The next thing we need to do is actually place that in the gradebook. To do that, go back to the assignment submission folders, find the specific folder the assignment is in, scroll down until you see the assignment that you want, and click Published. At this point, it'll put the grade in here. We will click Use This Score. Scroll down over here and click Update. That grade has now been entered into the gradebook. To check that, we'll go into the gradebook, and we can see a grade of 95, or 9.5 points out of 10, has been entered right here.